Go.
Good afternoon. This is the DVMUG Zoom meeting of August 5th, 2025. We'll follow the usual format of news, followed by videos, miscellany, question and answer, and social hour. And we'll start with this week's news. News items for 8/5/2025. I'm showing this slide just to remind you that this information is available on the BBS, and you can get it plus a short little summary of each item by picking it up from the BBS. Following our synopsis of the news items, Tim Cook says Apple must figure out AI and will make the investments to do it, according to Jay Peters from TheVerge.com. At an all-hands meeting, Apple CEO Tim Cook emphasized the significance of AI, likening its potential to the internet and smartphones. He acknowledged Apple's history of not being first in new categories, but he highlighted the company's commitment to investing in and developing AI, telling them that the AI revolution is big or bigger as the internet, smartphones, cloud computing, and apps. Apple must do this. Apple will do this. This is sort of ours to grab, said he. Software Chief Craig Federighi also spoke, discussing the Siri delay and how the company originally wanted to build it with a hybrid architecture. But we realized that that approach was not going to get us to the Apple quality, he said. The new plan is to move everything to a new architecture. Cook continued with, the company is open to acquisitions to accelerate this roadmap. Any comments or questions?
Well, I read that they're thinking of or talking about making their own answer engine, they call it, I think, something like that, instead of Chat GTP. So where you ask and get answers, kind of thing.
Next item, same general subject. Siri may get Chat GPT-like search powers
There
driven
you
by a
go.
new Apple team, according to Charles Martin from AppleInsider.com. Apple has formed a new team to develop in-house AI services, including a new search experience similar to ChatGPT. The goal is to dissuade users from leveraging rival services and incorporate app intent technology. The revamped Siri experience should debut in the first half of 2026. Reshuffling of management at the AI division has resulted in some rearrangement and new tires of talent within the division. Apple has dramatically increased spending and recruiting of more talent in an effort to accelerate its AI development goals. While the structure of the Answers, Knowledge, and Information team is new, the goal of a revamped Siri has been ongoing. It's a long-awaited updated version with more contextual understanding based on a new large language model engine. Comments, questions? Third item, Apple.
Everybody's muted, so it's hard to respond.
I just unmuted.
Well, they can press the space bar. Apple Q3 2025 results, 95 billion revenue. Jason Snell, Dan Moran from sixcolors.com. On Thursday, Apple reported its third quarter 2025 fiscal results. Revenue was 94 billion, a fiscal third quarter record, up 10% versus the year ago quarter. Mac revenue was up 15%, iPhone revenue up 13%, and services revenue up 13%. The wearables, home accessories category was down 9%, and iPad revenues down about 8%. Speculation is that the heavy hardware surges We're in anticipation of price increases soon due to tariff considerations. So you can see in this graphic illustration that the iPhone's the biggie, but that services section is really picking up for Apple.
And the services they were talking about on Mac Rake is mostly profit. There's no cost, where the iPhone has cost for the making it and all that other stuff. So the margin on services is ridiculously high.
You got that right.
And services aren't affected by tariffs.
Right.
Mhm.
However, their stock is being hammered and they're being rated as underperforming. So if
Yeah,
you look
I
at
guess.
it in their, in their sector, this past year it was a 20% increase and Apple is like at 3%. So their stock is getting hammered.
uh,
And in the previous article, Apple is losing AI talent to other
Yes,
companies. I
yes,
missed my chance to say that.
yeah. And at a very fast rate, apparently, quite fast.
uh-huh. Well, we'll see if these changes fix that up.
So regarding this AI thing, I mean, Tim did come out and say we must do this. There is no is not an answer. So I guess they're going to double down and create something, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think one of the interesting questions about AI in this regard is that when you're using ChatGPT or any of the
Mm,
AI tools now, you're using a tremendous amount of computer power somewhere,
Hmm.
and you're using a lot, and that requires a lot of energy, electricity, etc., water, and so on. And I'm wondering, with the push to go to more AI for us users, how are they going to have us pay for it? Somewhere along the line, they've got to come along and figure out a way for us to pay for it, I think.
yeah, because Microsoft and now Amazon is building their own power plants to power their AI divisions. Uh, because of so much demand for electricity. Now, another thing is that I hear, not it's one way or the other, but I find it um, awkward to go through a third party uh, piece of software to get what I want. In other words, I rather go through Apple's than Chatbot GPT because I have no idea what Chatbot GPT does with my information. That's my thing. I mean, right now, I try to stay away from it, but
Well,
I don't know.
there was an article today that some of the chat GPT questions turned up in Google search, people's
No.
personal questions.
So
Also,
so
like
that yeah.
Apple says that most of the stuff they're trying to do is on your device, not sending it to the internet. So that's for, not going out to the internet unless they can't handle it. It's more complex, then it goes to the internet.
Well, if you're using ChatGPT, it's going out. I mean, you
Right.
can't.
Well,
Yeah,
Apple's latest thing from yesterday is they're going to create their own version of Chat GTP. And
yeah.
at
But even
least
that's going to go out. They don't have the data center capacity within our iPhone to do a lot of the stuff that Chat does. So,
it's true.
Right. And another article I read a few days ago was talking about these data centers and their effect on the environment in fragile areas like the Mojave.
Well,
well,
didn't
Oh,
Microsoft's what? Didn't they buy 3 Mile Island and they're going to reopen it
yes,
or something strange?
yes. Refurbishing it.
Is
well,
this
there's
is this a
tremendous
built
demand for power.
is this a built-in issue for um, AI that you need large language models and it's
Yes.
going to be massively energy
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the whole thing. Yes.
So why do we need large language model? Is it because the small language model is that much smaller than the large amount of energy to, I mean, large amount of information to use, and that therefore better answers or
Yes, yes.
okay.
Large language models necessary for AI. Now, I'm not going to say that I'm the expert, but my nephew is. He's one of the people that created the large language model.
Hmm. And that means humongous amount of data, right?
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
They scoop up everything from everywhere. Yes.
I thought that's what AI did anyway. What's the difference between large language and
Well,
regular?
it teaches us how to coordinate. In other words, how to put it together so that there's a relationship between all the information. Again,
So
I'm just repeating what I'm told. I'm no expert in this.
well, that's good information. A small language would be exactly that. Smaller amount of energy, I mean, data compared to the large, humongous amount of energy, data to large language.
I don't think it's just that. I think it's also about how they build relationships. In other words, putting words in context, making meaning out of the information.
You
See, I don't
notice
see how
when you go
how
to a
the large
Google,
language model would be able to and the small language model not. So I
Yeah,
guess this,
that's a whole other subject that I can't talk on.
well, you
well,
notice
that's
now,
that's my thing. I think it's a volume of information that one has and the other one doesn't.
Right. But if you think about it, nobody's going to use the model that doesn't have the information.
Correct. Correct. That's correct. That's the whole thing. Oh,
So the methods,
you notice when you do a Google search now, you get an AI summary at the top, which
Right.
is not necessarily correct.
yeah,
They
that's right.
summarize all the things they found and not giving you it's, they're pushing ahead like they know that's what the future they want to be there. And the thing about it is the stuff that they come up with is not necessarily correct.
sometimes
And
it's hallucinating.
Exactly.
if you use Google, Google will tell you at the bottom of all that stuff, the information got from here, 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 and there. In other words, they acknowledge where they get their information from. So I don't
You,
know who's anybody or any one of those things creating their own answers, or are they getting it from a big dictionary someplace?
Let's move forward.
Yes. Apple unveils Apple Care One for multiple device protection. Adam Hanks of tidbits.com. Apple Care One is a new device protection plan that covers up to 3 Apple devices for $19.99 per month. It includes benefits like accidental damage repairs and theft loss protection, with additional devices costing $5.99 per month. While it simplifies coverage and offers flexibility, the value proposition depends on individual devices and existing coverage, with self-insurance often being a more cost-effective option. A notable aspect of AppleCare One is that you can now add devices up to 4 years old to your plan, a significant change from the traditional 60-day window for purchasing AppleCare Plus. AppleCare One offers welcome flexibility in device management. You can add or remove devices at any time, and the coverage automatically transfers when you trade in the covered device to Apple and purchase a new one. No need to manually cancel or restart coverage. While AppleCare One simplifies device protection, it's essential to remember that overall, extended warranties benefit the companies offering them more than the customers buying them. Apple wouldn't be introducing AppleCare One if it didn't expect the program to increase its services revenue well beyond what it pays out in Apple Care coverage. So they're an insurance company. Any comments, questions?
I wonder if anybody has got private insurance for that kind of thing. I don't know if anybody that does, but he said that in what you just read that it's probably cheaper than going the Apple One approach, and I'm curious to know whether anybody does that.
Yeah.
I had that on one of my iPhones years ago, and in the end, they didn't honor anything. If I had done it with Apple, they would have. Right now, I'm continuing on month to month to pay for an older iPhone SE, and it's costing me $4 a month for one device.
Yeah.
So
Well,
if I had
interesting.
enough other devices, this probably would be a good buy.
Yeah.
At $240 a year.
For 3 devices.
Hmm.
All right, we'll move on to the videos. Again, this list is on the BBS, complete with some summary indications on each item.
They're also in the chat. I put the news, the videos, and the miscellaneous PDFs in the chat.
All right. The first video is by Dan Wasink of Dan Tutorials. Want a faster way to take notes on iPhone? Try this. Want a faster way to jot things down on your iPhone? In this video, I show you how to use Quick Notes, a powerful feature in the Notes app that lets you save ideas, links, and more without switching apps. Learn how to create Quick Notes using the share sheet, find them in the Notes app, and add Quick Notes to Control Center for even quicker access.
In this video, we're going to look at a special note within the Notes app. It's called a Quick Note. With a Quick Note, what we're able to do is quickly jot down a note without even leaving an app. Now, if you like what you see here, stick around to the end. I'll tell you a little bit more about myself and how you can help support my efforts in creating these videos. All right, let's take a look at these Quick Notes on the iPhone. Let's go over to my iPhone. Now, as I mentioned in the introduction, with Quick Notes, what we're able to do is create a note or jot down notes without ever opening up the Notes app. So how do we do that? Well, basically, there's 2 different ways we can do this. We can do this through the share icon, or we can do this through the Control Center. Let's first take the share icon. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go into Safari here, and what I would like to do is create a Quick Note on this. Well, all I do is just go over here to the share icon, and when I tap on that, instead of tapping on Notes, that's going to open up the Notes app. I don't want to do that. What I want to do is I want to create a Quick Note. I swipe up, and you're going to see the option to add to a Quick Note. When I tap on this, what it does is it opens up a new card. We can actually see Safari in the background there. So basically, I've never left Safari. I'm still in Safari, but what I'm able to do is go and create a note. So this is the website. I can go and type it in there. It automatically added that website link in there. And now I just tap on Save. It takes me back to Safari, and it saved that note. So where did it save it to? Well, it saved it to my notes, but it's in a special folder called Quick Notes.
Oh.
So let's go over to my notes here. And when we look at my folders now, you're going to see I have Quick Notes. And when I tap on that, there is my Tulip Time website. I tap on that, and I can go and view that note. As of this point here, it is just a standard note. I have all of the same options that it did before. It's just stored in the Quick Note folder. And if I wanted to move it out of there, I could long press on it, and then I can go and move this. So that's how we can create Quick Notes with the share icon. Another nice feature with that is, let's go back over to Safari, and this works from within any app as long as you have that share icon. But if I were to select text in here, when I create a Quick Note, what it's going to do is it's going to copy that text. So I tap on the share icon here, and I go up to Add to Quick Note. I tap on it. It's going to add that to that note, and we have that text. So it saved the link to that website, but it also saved the text to that. So now when I tap on save and we go back over to my notes, you're going to see I have two of them here. And when I tap on this, I can see the website as well as that text that I selected. So I tap on this and it takes me over to that website. And we can basically do this from within any app that we have that share icon. So if I go to Maps, then let's go to Hops, one of my favorite restaurants here. I want to add that as a quick note. All I have to do is tap on Share, and you're going to see the option to Add to New Quick Note. And when I tap on that, it's going to add it to a new quick note. You can see it adds that link in there. And now when I go over to my notes, we now have 3 of them, and one of them is to my Maps app. We have another way of creating a quick note, and that is through the control center. But we have to kind of set this one up. So how do we do that? Well, let's go over to my control center. I'm just going to flick down from the upper right-hand corner to get to my control center. With iOS 18, what we're able to do is modify these controls. How do we do that? We long press, so I'm going to long press in this area here where there's no control. And now what I'm able to do is add a new control. The control I want to add is Quick Note. So I tap on it, and I'm going to search for Quick Note, and you're going to see we have Quick Note here. I tap on that, and now we can see we have my Quick Note icon. So what does this do? Well, this allows me to create a quick note from within any app as well, but it doesn't necessarily share. So I tap on this, and now I can create a new quick note. Type in what I want, and then when I'm done, I would tap on save, and it'll save that note. But it doesn't leave the app. So if I'm in the Photos app here, I want to create a quick note. I just flick down, go over to my icon here. I can write what I want in here. Hit save, and I've created that quick note. So that is how we create quick notes on the iPhone. It's an easy way to create a note without ever leaving an app. We have 2 different ways we can do this. We can do this by the share icon, or what we can do is add a control to the control center, and then from there you're able to create a new quick note. And again, when you use this method, the quick note method, it never leaves the app. When you do create a quick note, it puts it into a special folder within the Notes app. We are able to move it out of that folder if you want. Just long press on it, you can move it out of that folder. So that is how we create quick notes with the Notes app on the iPhone. Now, if you found this...
Any comments or questions?
He's really good.
Uh-huh.
I like the way he shares the screen and circles things. He goes at a decent pace without being too slow or too fast. And we should find more from him.
Mm-hmm. Well, I do have a second one from him in here. And I missed the questions slide, but I asked. Second video is by Gary Rosenzweig of MacMost. Master Safari tabs on iPhone 17 essential tips. Learn to use Safari on your iPhone more productively by mastering tabs. There are a ton of ways to create, manage, and group your tabs, and ways to keep the number of tabs you have open under control.
Hi, this is Gary with MacMost.com. Here are some tips for dealing with Safari browser tabs on your iPhone. So when using Safari on your iPhone to browse the web, you're probably using tabs whether you realize it or not. So here I am in Safari and I'm just viewing a web page. And this web page is being viewed in a tab. You don't really have windows in iOS. So every page that you're viewing at the same time is basically in a new tab like it would be in a single window on a Mac or PC. You can see all of your tabs by using this button at the bottom right that looks like 2 squares. If you don't see the controls here, it's probably because you're in the middle of the page. Scroll down a bit and these controls should appear, and then you could tap here and see all of your tabs. I've got 2 tabs open here, but chances are you've got more, and you can scroll through them. And then to jump to any tab, just tap it and you'll go to that tab. Tap here again, and then you can choose another tab. So how do you open new tabs? Well, a lot of times when you tap on a link, it automatically opens a new tab if that's how the website is designed. However, you can force it by tapping and holding a link like this. You get a little preview there, and you'll get a context menu at the bottom that includes open in a new tab. So now I've created a new tab, and you can see here I now have 3 tabs open. You can also tap and drag a link like this, and then with another finger tap on the tab overview button at the bottom right. And now you can drop this into a position here to create a new tab with that link. You can also create a new tab with just your start page or your browser's home page showing by tapping the tabs button at the bottom right and then tapping the plus button on the left, and now it'll create a new tab with your start page there. So you can see now I have 4 tabs. Now if you're like most people, you probably have way too many tabs open, and some of those are for pages you haven't viewed in days. You can close any tab using this interface here by simply tapping the X button right there. So I'll close this tab like that. Now if you want to clear this all out and close a lot of tabs, you can do it by tapping and holding that X button at the top right, and you get some options. One of them is just close that tab, but you could also close all other tabs, leaving that tab as the only one that's still open. But you can also do this without even going to the tabs overview. You can just tap and hold here at the tabs icon at the bottom right, and you can see I've got the ability to close this tab or close all of the tabs, clearing them out. If you find these videos valuable, consider joining the more than 2,000 others that support MacMost at Patreon. You get exclusive content, course discounts, and more. You can read about it at macmost.com/Patreon. Now, if you've closed a tab by mistake.
Any comments or questions?
Yeah, that was very, very good.
Mm-hmm. Ellen Sweeney from Ellen's Tips for iOS. 8 hidden iPhone tips every senior should know. If you see numbers or boxes on your screen, don't hear any sound, can't use some keys of your Mac, or your Mac wakes up from sleep on its own, there may be a simple explanation and an easy fix.
Hi everyone, Ellen from Ellen's Tips for iOS, where I help seniors master their iPhones and iPads. Today I'm showing you 8 essential iPad features that many people, especially seniors, don't even know exist. These features are all about making life easier, safer, and a lot more enjoyable on your iPad. If you find the video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Let's get started. Did you know you can triple-click the home button or top button on your iPad to launch helpful tools? It's called the accessibility shortcut, and it gives you quick access to things like VoiceOver, live speech, Zoom, and even the magnifier app. Here's how to set it up. We're going to open the Settings app. We're going to locate accessibility. We're going to scroll all the way to the bottom, and we're going to tap on accessibility shortcut. Here you'll see all of the shortcuts that you have access to. You can go ahead and click on one. For right now, I am just going to leave it as the magnifier, and if I triple click on my home button, it'll immediately come into the magnifier app. And so now, anytime you need one of these features, just triple click on the button. It's so simple and it makes your life easier. Do you ever wish you could just write something down by hand? With Scribble, you can. Anywhere there's a text box, like in Safari or Messages, you can write with your Apple Pencil and it will turn it into typed texts. So to set this up, you want to come into the Settings app, tap on Apple Pencil, toggle on Scribble, and then below that, just give it a try. Tap on Try Scribble. You'll see it'll give it a little example. You write it in, it turns it into typed text. I'm just going to write the word hello. And you'll see immediately it turns that into typed text. Even better, inside the Notes app, You can write your grocery list. Let me come into the Notes app, or a quick reminder and leave it just the way you wrote it. So if I wanted to just write in Apple, if I write in Apple, you'll see that it even fixes my handwriting, which isn't great to begin with. I can write in banana, and it should recognize and write the word banana for me. It's natural, it's fun, it's a great option if typing feels tricky, so give it a try. Notifications can be so distracting, especially when you're reading, relaxing, or FaceTiming the grandkids. That's where focus mode comes in. It lets you silence unwanted alerts at certain times of the day. So to set it up, you want to open the Settings app. You want to choose Focus on the left-hand side. And then you can either create your own by tapping on the plus sign. As you can see right now, I have Do Not Disturb turned on because I'm video recording and I don't want anybody's messages or phone calls to disturb me. So I'm going to just tap into Do Not Disturb so you can see it. So right now, I don't let anybody through or any apps through. If I wanted to change that, I could tap on People, and then I could add particular people that it would then let those people notify me even when I had Do Not Disturb turned on. In the same way with apps, I could hit this and then add an app that I want to be able to get through the Do Not Disturb. The other option that you have is that you can actually add a schedule to this. So if you know that there's a certain time of day that you don't want to be disturbed, maybe when you're sleeping, you can set up a schedule and it will turn on automatically at that time. Now your iPad will know when it's quiet time and let you enjoy your day in peace. Have a great idea? Need to jot something down right away? Just swipe up from the bottom right corner of the screen and a quick note will pop up. The first thing we want to do is make sure we have this set up correctly. So I'm going to go ahead and open the Settings app. I'm going to tap on Done just to get rid of the note for a second. Make sure you have multitasking and gestures highlighted. Toggle on the switch that says swipe finger from the corner. You have two options here. If you swipe from the bottom left corner, I have it set up for screenshot. You could set it up for quick note if you want. Bottom right corner, the default is quick note. So if I swipe up from the bottom right corner, I'll come into a quick note where I can either type in a note if I want to, or if I hit the little pencil icon, I can scribble it with my finger or with my Apple Pencil. And when I'm finished, I can tap on Done and I can go right back to doing what I was doing. This is perfect for recipe ideas, book suggestions, things to tell the doctor. It's just a really quick way to get into a note, write it down, and know that it's located in your Notes app. Struggling to read tiny print? Your iPad can help. Let's make things easier on your eyes. We're going to go to the Settings app, tap on Display and Brightness, and then Text Size, tap on that, and then you can drag this little button to whatever size you want the text to be. But what I want you to realize is that it's only apps that support dynamic type that it will adjust to the preferred reading size above. But another option that you can do to help is toggle on bold text and you'll immediately see the change. If I toggle it off, that's the normal. But if I toggle on bold text, I can even get better visibility. Now, here's a pro tip. You can even add a text size button to your control center so that you can adjust it on the fly per app. So if I come in to the Messages app, I'm going to swipe down from the right I'm going to tap on the double A's and I'll adjust that. And you'll see it adjusting behind. I'm just going to go ahead and click out so you can see. So immediately it's bolded and the text is much larger. If I want to put it back to where I had it, I'm coming back into the control center. I'm tapping on the double A's and I'm going to bring it back down to the default size, which is 100%. And now, but I'm still bolded to read. Your iPad can read to you. This is a lifesaver for tired eyes or when you want to listen instead of reading. To set this up, let me swipe out of here for a second. We're going to go into the Settings app, tap on Accessibility. Let me go to the main accessibility page. Make sure you tap on Spoken Content, toggle Speak Selection and Speak Screen On. And then to use this feature, I'm going to come back into Google and I'm going to highlight a piece of text. And when I do, the option, because I turned it on in the accessibility area, the option to speak comes up.
Hi
I
there.
can tap
If
on
you're
that,
looking to master
and I don't
Safari
know if
on
you
your
can
iPhone
hear
or
it,
iPad
but it's
and make your
reading
web
it now.
browsing more
And if
enjoyable,
I want it to
safer,
stop,
and less
I can just
distracting,
drag it
you're in the
again.
right place.
It'll
I'm Ellen
come up
from
and
Ellen's
I
Tips
can
for
tap
iOS.
on pause. If I want to read the whole page, all I need to do is swipe down with 2 fingers from the top of the screen and
All
it'll
folders.
start reading
Ellen
the whole
Sweeney's
page.
Workspace.
Whether
Board.
it's an
Automations.
article, email,
Kit.
or recipe,
2025
your
Safari Tips
iPad
Seniors Love.
becomes a
Ellen's Tips for
personal
iOS.
reader.
Newsletter
To turn it
Signup
off,
Suggestions.
I'm
New
going to
tab.
tap on this
Accessibility
little
menu.
gray icon
2025
in the
Safari
upper
Tips
left
Seniors Love.
corner,
July
and then
7th,
I'll tap on the
2025.
X, and now it'll stop reading. Want to send a photo to a family member without emailing it or texting it? AirDrop is your friend. It lets you share photos, documents, and links instantly between devices. So here's how to do that. Right now, I have a PDF opened from the Files app. So let me show you. I'm going to tap on Done, and I'm inside of the Files app. And so I just opened a document. If I tap on the share icon, the square with the up arrow, and I choose AirDrop, you'll see the devices that I can share this with. So I can tap on Ellen's Tips for iOS. My device then will get a message. I can choose to say accept, and then that automatically will be sent to that particular device. You can also do it with photos. So let me bring up the Photos app. I've selected 3 photos already. I'll tap the share icon. Again, I'll tap AirDrop. I'll see that my devices are here, and then any other devices that are nearby. So family, friends, you'll see their devices, and then you just tap on the one you want to send it to. It'll ding on their particular device and ask them to accept it. They'll accept it, and then those photos will be transferred to their device. No fussing with attachments, just fast, secure sharing. Ever accidentally tap the wrong button and exit an app by mistake? Guided Access lets you lock your iPad into one app so you or a loved one can focus without distractions. To set this feature up, we'll open the Settings app, we'll tap on Accessibility, scroll down until you see Guided Access, make sure that the toggle switch is turned on. You can check out these other settings, but for right now, I'm going to leave it as is. And now I'm going to open an app that I want to use Guided Access on. So I'm going to open up my Mail app, and then I'm going to triple click the Home button or the Side button. So I'm going to triple click. It takes me into Guided Access. I have to tap on Start. Now I have to enter a passcode. So I'm going to give it a very simple 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to enter it again. And now I'm in guided access and I cannot exit this app no matter what I do until I triple click on the home or top button again. It'll ask me to enter the passcode. That's why you want to make it easy to remember. And once it does, it takes you to the option screen where I can tap on end and I'm back out of guided access. And this is perfect for things like Zoom calls, reading apps, or if you're letting your grandchildren play games on your phone or iPad. Once activated, you won't leave the app until you end the session. No more accidental taps. Which of these tips will you try first? Your iPad can do so much more than you think, and once you know these tricks, it becomes even a more powerful tool for staying connected, organized, and entertained. If this video helped you, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more iPad and iPhone tips, especially made for seniors. And if you want to save these tips, I've added a link in the video description to sign up for my newsletter. The PDF handout every single week. Thanks so much for watching.
Any comments or questions?
I followed her instructions and everything's bolded on my phone right now. It helps.
Yes, there were a lot of things there. You probably have to go back to the watch it over several times to get what you would like out of it.
I've had the triple click for the magnifier set for years now.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I'm waiting for that iPhone Fold. I want like a 27-inch one that just open up like this. Oh, okay, that's a little too big, but I need screen space. Real estate, in other words.
It's called an iPad.
True, but it doesn't fold.
I've had triple click set for ages for Smart Invert, so I can read white on black instead of black on white.
What do you triple click on? She said the button, but what button?
On the side top of if you put your iPad, are you talking about iPhone or iPad?
iPhone.
iPhone, okay. If you on the upper right side, there's a button.
The top button?
No, on the right-hand side, there's a button on your iPhone, and that's the one you triple click on.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Fourth video is again by Dan Wassink from Dan's Tutorials, how to save iPhone PDFs anywhere using print dialog. In today's digital age, it has become increasingly important to be able to share and store files in a convenient and accessible way. One of the best ways to do this is by converting your documents into PDF format. PDFs are widely used and compatible across multiple devices and platforms, making them an ideal file format for sharing and archiving.
In this video, we're going to look at how we can save a file as a PDF on the iPhone. We basically do this through the print dialog box. Let's see how we can save files as PDFs on the iPhone. Let's open up Safari here. What I would like to do is save this as a PDF. How can I do that? If we look, when we go up under Share here, I do not have the option to save this to the Files app. And there's actually a little bit of an issue when you do save it to the Files app. I'll show you that shortly with the Notes app. What I want to do is I want to save this as a PDF. How can I do that? Well, basically what we need to do is we need to print it. Any file that we can print, we can save as a PDF. So now I tap on Print. But instead of printing it, what I do is I go up to the share icon in the upper right-hand corner, and when I click on the share icon, what I'm able to do is save this to files. So when I save this to files, what it'll do is it'll save it as a PDF. So I select this. Let's say I wanted to save it to my desktop on iCloud. We have the name down here. I click on Save, and now it just saved that as a PDF. Let's see how this works in Mail. I go over to Mail here. I would like to save this as a PDF. So now what I do is I go down to the arrow here. There's not necessarily a share icon, but this is basically where it is. So I go to the arrow. You're going to see I have all the different options here, including print. I do not have the option to save this as a file. So what I need to do is I need to print, and then I go up to share, and then we go over to save to files. When I select this, I name the email, and I tap on save. And now it just saved that mail message as a PDF, and I can file it. So that's basically what we need to do, is we need to figure out how on the share icon, or tap on the share icon. Now I mentioned that there's a little bit of a problem when you see save to file. Let's go over to my Notes app here. I'm looking at these settings here, and I would like to save this as a PDF. Well, when we go up to share here, you're going to see I have the option to save this to files. You may think that this is a shortcut. When I tap on this, I go and name it, I place it in my desktop, and I tap on save. But what's going to happen here is it'll save it as a text file. It's not going to save it as a PDF. So when you save as files, it does not always save it as a PDF. So how can you make sure that this is going to be saved as a PDF? You use print. So now let's do it again, but this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to print it. So now I go to my share icon, and I swipe up. We go over to print. I do not save to files. I tap on print, and then we go up to share here, and being that I'm in the print dialog box, when I save to files, it will save this as a PDF. So I go to desktop, and we go to save, and now it saved it as a PDF. So when I go to my Files app, and then we go over to my desktop, you're going to see I have a number of different PDFs in here. Let's go and change the view. We're going to go with the list icon, and we can see all of my PDFs. So that's how we save documents as PDFs on the iPhone. We do this through the print dialog box. You just need to print the document. Doesn't matter which app you're in, as long as you can print to it or print from it, what you are able to do is save it as a PDF. When the print dialog box comes up, just tap on Share, Save to Files, select where you want to save it, and that file will be now saved as a PDF. So that's how you save files as PDFs on the iPhone.
Comments or questions?
I just tried that on a website that was showing a menu, and instead of having to scroll through the whole menu, that method downloaded the whole menu from the website as a PDF. It worked perfectly.
Ah, that sounds good. Fifth video is by Gary again. How to sort a list alphabetically in pages. Learn how to sort lists alphabetically in pages using a workaround with tables, including handling names in different formats and trying Apple Intelligence as a quick alternative. I hope the rest of you find this interesting. I certainly did.
Hi, this is Gary with MacMost.com. Let me show you how you can sort a list in Pages. Now, if you have a list of items in Pages, you may want to sort it alphabetically. Unfortunately, there's no built-in way in Pages to sort a list like that. But you can do it using third-party apps, copying the text out of Pages, sorting it, and then pasting it back into Numbers. But I want to just show you ways that only involve using pages. So let's say you've got a list like this. So I can select the entire thing manually, or since there's only a list in this document, I'm going to use Command A to select all of it. Now it'd be great if there was just a menu item or button here that allowed me to sort, but there's not. So what I need to do to sort it is convert this to a table, which I can sort, and then convert it back to a regular text list like this. So I've got this copied now, and I'm going to create a table, and this is just going to be temporary. I'm going to get rid of the table when I'm done. So I'm going to put the cursor right there before the beginning of the first line, and I can use this button here and then select the plain table like that, or I could also choose Insert and then Table and select Plain. Either one will get me this simple table here. Then I want to select the very first cell, A1. I just want to select the cell. I don't want to double click and then actually be editing the text in the cell. That's not what I want. So make sure you just have the cell selected and there's no blinking cursor. Now when I use Command V to paste, you can see how it uses every line as a separate cell. So now I've got my table here and I can sort it. You can do that many different ways. I'm actually going to go up here to the column header A and click on the little context menu button here and then choose Sort Ascending. And it will resort these lines, and you see they're now in alphabetical order. Now if I try to copy and paste this back into the regular body text, it won't work. I can Command C to copy, and let's say it's go down here, and at the bottom I'll paste it in, and you can see it's going to paste another copy of the table, actually just the cells I selected. So instead what I want to do is I want to select all of the cells here in A. I can do that by double clicking on A like that, and I want to choose Format and then Table and then look for Merge Cells, and that will merge all of the cells here into one cell. So every cell in the column is now a single line in this one cell. So now I do want to actually double click inside here so I get a cursor there and select all with Command A. So I've selected all the text in this cell and Command C to copy. Now I can go and paste that back into my body text, and you can see I now have a copy of my list, but now it's sorted. I can now select and get rid of the original list like that. I could also select this table here. An easy way to make sure you've selected the entire table, not just some cells in it, is to click on this handle, and now I can press delete and delete the table. So now I'm left with just the sorted list. Although it is worth noting, when you're at this stage where you have a table with every item in a different cell, you may just want to keep it that way. You can click here on the right, this little circle at the right side, and reduce the number of columns to 1. You can then select the right side here of column A and shrink that. And now you've got a table. You can select it here, go to Format, and then Table, and then select a different style for it, or update the style yourself if you don't like this particular style. But the useful thing about a table is you can go back and resort it very easily. So you can add items, remove items, change items, and then resort it, which may be more useful if you've got a document that evolves over time. You don't want to have to keep going through all those steps to alphabetize it. So keeping it as a table may be a good option for some. If you find these videos valuable, consider joining the more than 2,000 others that support MacMost at Patreon. You get exclusive content, course discounts, and more. You can read about it at macmost.com/Patreon. Now, one problem you may run into is if you have a list like this, where there's a list of names, last name, comma, first name. If I try the same technique here, watch what happens. I'm going to select all with Command A, Command C to copy. I'm going to insert a table here at the beginning, table, and then I'll choose the plain one like that, and I'm going to paste all the names in. And look what happens. I get the last name in column A, the first name in column B. I get this right here. Table data was imported and can be adjusted. Click on that. You could see it selected a comma as a delimiter to divide up the two columns. I can remove the comma like this. I can click Update Table, and now I get a table just like before with everything here in the first column. I can now sort it just like before. I can select Format, Table, Merge Cells, double click in here, use Command A, Command C to copy all, and then I can paste it below to get a nice alphabetized list like before. What about a situation where you have a list of names, first name and then last name? How can you sort by last name? Well, let's give it a try. I'm going to use Command A, Command C to copy. I'm going to create a new table, plain like that, and I'm going to paste into the table like that. So now without any kind of comma or tab as an obvious delimiter, it puts them all in the first column. That's fine. Let's extract the last name now by using a formula in the table. So I'm going to go to B1 here. I'm going to press the equals key to start typing a formula. And I'm going to use the function text after. So I'm going to select that here. The source string is going to be the name. So A1 there. It's going to search for a space. So double quote, space, double quote for that. And the occurrence is going to be the last space, which is a -1. 1 will be the first space, 2 the second space, etc. But -1 means the first space from the end. So now when I use that, you can see I get the last name here. I can copy cell B1 and double click on B to select all these cells and then paste into B. So now I get the last name here as the second column. So the first thing I want to do is sort by the first column. So now all the first names are alphabetical. And then I'm going to sort by the second column. So it's going to resort it by last name, but any ties would have retained the order that originally was there. So now we have all the names in column A sorted alphabetically by last name. The only thing we have to worry about is every once in a while someone has a last name that does have a space in it. So you may have to treat those individually. But right now I'm just going to double click column A, choose Format, Table, Merge Cells. Now I get all the names there again. Double click inside, Command A, Command C, all just like before. And now I can paste this new sorted list. And now I have them all sorted by last name here, and I can delete everything above. Now, is there any other way to do this just in Pages? And there is, but it doesn't work in all situations. If you have Apple Intelligence, so you've got a newer Mac that supports Apple Intelligence, you have it enabled, and Apple Intelligence is supported in your region and with your language settings, then you can try to use Apple Intelligence for this. I'm going to select all here, or you would just select the list if it's not your entire document. And I'm going to go to Edit and then Writing Tools. And you have all these tools like proofread and rewrite and all of that. But I want to do something custom. So I'm going to Show Writing Tools here, and I get a prompt. In the prompt, I'm going to tell it to sort this list alphabetically and return. And instead of rewriting the whole list, it's just going to sort it. It's not perfect in that you do end up with some odd things like spaces afterwards and everything like that. But I expect this to improve in the future. So at least now it's a quick option that might work in some situations. Now, when things get a little more complex, sometimes Apple Intelligence doesn't get it quite right. For instance, I found that sometimes when I sort last name, comma, first name using Apple Intelligence by going to Writing Tools, Show Writing Tools, and then I would say sort this list by last name, sometimes it gets it right, but I have seen it actually not sort it all correctly. In this case, it seems to work pretty well. And I would imagine if you've got some complex situations like lots of last names that have spaces in them and middle names and things like that, that this may be a better option. You can also go to Edit, Writing Tools, and then Compose. And this will use ChatGPT instead of Apple Intelligence. So if Apple Intelligence isn't working, this may work better. Plus, AI gives you some other options. Like, for instance, I could easily take this list here and say sort by last name, then convert to first name, last name format. And then it will do the sort and convert the format for me without having to mess with tables at all. I did get a little extra text as ChatGPT likes to be, well, chatty. So there's a few different ways to do it. I hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching.
Now, any comments or questions? Okay. Only
It
one,
smacks of parlor tricks to me.
but it works.
Yeah, it works, but LibreOffice does it.
Uh-huh.
I would do it in LibreOffice if I didn't want to do the whole thing in LibreOffice, do the list in LibreOffice, sort it, and then paste it into my page. But I,
Uh-huh.
it seems like a lot of work to do something that another program can do easily.
Yeah, I do that for the renewals list every month I get from Lee in numbers. I copy the first name and the last name cells, swap them so the first name's first, sort by the in there, and then copy and paste it out into MailChimp.
Mhm.
Or you can do it in BB Edit. If you have a list and you just want to sort, BB Edit's free version. You can alphabetize anything you want. Alphabetize sorting ascending or descending. There's
Okay.
probably lots of text-based programs that can sort text. Pages not being one of them.
LibreOffice is very good for that.
Yeah, I never thought of that. I use BB Edit. It's very simple. I just want to manipulate some text.
Why do they choose not to do it? It wouldn't be that big a deal to add that feature.
I don't know.
I think all programs are a work in progress, and probably they thought of everything else, but this was something that escaped them. It'll probably be out one of these days included.
You've had lots of years to think about it.
You've asked the perennial question, Jan.
Yep.
Why does Apple do what Apple does?
Yeah, sometimes it really disappoints me.
I wonder, did ClarisWorks do that? Did it support sorting? I think it did. Does anybody remember?
No.
Bill is nodding his head.
3 Easy Pieces did it on the Apple
It
II.
did. ClarisWorks did sort. There you go.
The greatest program it's a 32-bit app, and I still use it in my hobby to manipulate text files. It's called Text Edit, TEX for Texas Edit, but he abandoned it. It can do amazing things for cleaning up text.
Well, I just one thought that if you're already working in Pages, then you've got to switch to the other app,
Yeah, but it's copy and paste.
LibreOffice
It's
or whatever. And
real easy to copy text, paste it in another program, manipulate it, and copy it back. It's easy. A lot easier than
yes, it's easy, but if you notice, by the time he was finished, he was flipping those things pretty fast too. So a little bit of practice, maybe you do it just as fast this way.
whatever works for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are there only 6 people in this meeting today?
No, there's 23.
Oh, okay. I can't see them all.
Uh-huh.
That's because
Okay, well,
Lee is
only one.
sharing it. When we go to gallery view, you'll see a Q&A, you'll see them.
Mhm.
They have smaller pictures.
22.
Yeah, 11 people have their cameras on.
Yeah, you only see if you have a preferences set, you can hide people who don't have their cameras on. That's probably what you have if you see 11 or 12. Continue. Is that the last one, Lee? You got
That's the
miscellaneous.
last one, except I want a very short miscellany item. And that is for those who didn't follow John Sobraro's lead on the BBS, you may want to do so in order to learn of the 10 iOS 26 features that may be of interest to you. Feature titles are listed in the next slide. So everybody's fascinated by the glass, what's it called? The glass view and the new
liquid glass.
liquid glass. Yeah, well, that's getting all the attention, but here are 10 features, and if you're using some of those, you should know that they've either been added or updated, and so you can look at them at this URL, and that URL is, as you say, it's on the BBS or in the
I don't remember posting anything like that. I tend not to post things about stuff that isn't released.
So that link just goes to the Apple breakfast page, and
Oh,
you
it was
have
on
to
that
hunt
thing.
for it.
Okay.
But I just put another link in the chat, which takes you to that exact article.
So it was a
That's
Macworld
correct.
article review of the week. They listed highlight articles in the breakfast. Yeah, okay.
And this is not speculation. This is 10 iOS features.
Well, they're not released yet.
Uh, oh,
iOS
okay.
26 won't be out for another month,
Uh-huh.
unless
Yeah,
you do public beta.
Well, all
but we're
right.
still blaming you, John.
I know.
There are more. They're great additions to the telephone part of it, including hold assistance, where when you're put on hold, you just tap a button and go do whatever you want. And when the person pops back up, it rings your phone and you just pick up the phone. And the other one is for unknown callers. You now have an option where the phone will ask them for their name and purpose of their visit, and
Oh,
it displays it to you, and so you can decide whether or not to pick up the call.
how do you do that?
It's a new feature on the iPhone.
Oh.
It's just a setting. So the problem with unknown callers is previously the only option was to silence them completely. And then you miss doctors' offices calls and things like that because they may not be in your contacts. So the new option is for anything not in your contacts, it's like a secretary picks up the phone, asks them who they are and what they want, and you see the answer, and then decide. All you do then is tap the button and pick up the call.
Jerry, is
I've
that functioning in the current
No,
iteration of the?
no.
Let me finish the question, John. Is
Okay.
that currently functioning in the current iteration of the beta?
Yes, and it should be in the public beta.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes, it should be in public beta 1.
thanks.
You know, everybody's up in arms about that
Why?
because all the advertisers, including all the political, all the stuff that goes out there to collect money and all kinds of stuff, all that automatically will end up not getting to you if you're not uh, in in the person's contacts list. And they're saying, well, how are they supposed to collect money now that they won't even know that they sent this stuff out? So,
I just answered the phone, police department front desk.
yeah. I read that article today. I couldn't believe it. It was in the paper, matter of fact, about Apple.
Paper?
I tried your police department front desk thing with an unknown caller, and it turned out to be the nurse at my doctor's office.
Oh, I get that all the time and I have to backtrack. But now the latest I'm getting is contractors are calling, but I'm kind of easy on them because they're just trying to round up some business.
I just wish the doctors and medical people would use their own phone number instead of someplace in Minnesota or
It's a
Yeah,
service
why don't they? I don't understand
because it's a
that.
service. It's a
Right.
service that does the calls for them. They don't do it themselves.
well, it's too bad that the service doesn't spoof the number to the doctor's number.
Yeah.
That's a good thought. No more robos become worthless.
Yeah.
Yeah, that and that registered list on the no-call register list. Oh my gosh. I guess that doesn't make any difference
No, because
whatsoever.
these war dialers just, they set the dialing machine to dial, for instance, your prefix might be 925-934. They set it to dial 925-934-0000 to 934-9999. And they don't care
Yeah.
what the
And
Or
then
stuff
more
is.
lines in there,
they
yeah.
call it 6 in the morning.
Yeah, or
Really?
worse.
Okay, shall
I had the
we
most
go ahead?
I had the most clever message on my landline answering machine today. I think it was a 760 area code or something. And this nice sounding guy said, I'm calling from Dr. Limu's office about your MRI. You need to have it scheduled and please, blah, blah, call this number. Now, if you call that number, what do they have there?
The number you called from.
No, but I mean, this isn't real.
Oh.
I hope.
You might have success in going to Google and type in the number
Yeah.
925-228 hyphen blah 4 digits, and usually you will get reports if it's a robocall or who the number belongs to. You might get a clue, but if it says it's the doctor's office, that's the real deal.
But he mumbled when it was anything important. He was from such and
Speaking
such
of,
MRI lab company. Blah, blah, blah. He was really good at blurring anything that was important.
Always search the number.
Yeah.
Had
So we got any
tell them you
more?
can't hear them, give you a number, and you'll call them right back. Try to get a better connection.
Well, I wasn't on the phone. This was a message.
Oh,
Okay, so Bruce has his hand up. Shall we? This is still recording of the videos. So we have any more comments about the videos, or we'll move on to general Q&A. So you got something about the videos in the program, Bruce? New topic.
No.
Okay, shall we move to a new topic, new recording? So we shall. So we'll end this recording and start a new one for the Q&A. And any DVMUG members watching this on the YouTube, you can get the next link for the private video on the BBS.